Welcome back to our channel Ultra Rare Coins History. If you are a coin collector, watch video carefully. I will tell you about coins that make you a millionaire overnight. Top 1. Today's journey takes us deep into the heart of the United Kingdom's modern coinage, exploring a seemingly simple denomination that hides a tale of rarity, history, craftsmanship, and immense collector fascination. This is the story of the 1993 Elizabeth II 2-pence coin, an everyday coin transformed into a legend, a piece that has captured global attention for both its backstory and its astonishing value in the collector's market. To understand the magnetism of the 1993 2-pence coin, we have to step back into the world of early 90s Britain. The year 1993 was a period of transition for the Royal Mint, one marked by economic shifts, updates in technology, and the ongoing evolution of British coinage. The coinage system of the United Kingdom had already undergone significant modernization with decimalization in 1971, replacing centuries of traditional denominations with a cleaner, metric-based system. But even decades after that historical shift, the Royal Mint continued refining and perfecting its designs, metals, and minting processes. The 2-pence coin, introduced as part of the decimal series, held a special place in British daily life. Not only was it widely used, but its distinctive reddish tone and larger size made it visually memorable. However, many casual holders of the 1993 version were entirely unaware that their seemingly common coin was produced under peculiar circumstances. Unlike many earlier years when mintage figures soared into the tens or hundreds of millions, 1993 was a year of unexpectedly low production for circulating 2-pence pieces. Due to stockpiles from previous years and shifting economic demands, the Royal Mint produced far fewer circulation coins, focusing instead on sets and commemoratives for collectors. As a result, genuine 1993 2-pence coins intended for circulation turned out to be surprisingly scarce. Even though the design remained the familiar crown badge of the Prince of Wales on the reverse, and the elegant portrait of Queen Elizabeth II by Raphael Makhlouf on the obverse, the scarcity of the year's circulation strikes made it a coin worth far more than its humble face value. What makes this coin even more fascinating is its place in a transition period between portraits. Makhlouf's portrait, used from 1985 to 1997, is remembered for its regal elegance, presenting the Queen with a maturity and grace that defined an era of British coinage. Collectors consider it one of the most beautiful representations of Her Majesty, and this alone adds to the desirability of coins minted during the final years of his portrait's run. But rarity is only the beginning of what makes the 1993 2-pence coin so captivating. It is the story of how unnoticed circulation pieces became prized treasures. Unlike coins minted specifically for collector sets, circulation strikes can pick up unique characteristics, tiny imperfections, and minting anomalies that sometimes elevate their value into the stratosphere. Over the past years, collectors have uncovered remarkable specimens of the 1993 2-pence that showcase striking errors. Misaligned dies, off-center strikes, weak impressions, and metal planchet anomalies have all been observed in rare examples. Each error transforms the coin from a simple monetary token into an irreplaceable artifact. Stories began circulating among collectors about exceptionally preserved 1993 coins found in old coin jars, inherited collections, and even tucked away in long-forgotten drawers. These discoveries reignited interest in modern British coinage and sparked a hunt among enthusiasts. What others had overlooked suddenly became a treasure waiting to be recognized. As awareness grew, demand soared. Auction houses reported record-breaking bids for high-grade and error-struck specimens, and the global spotlight shifted toward what was once considered one of the most ordinary denominations. The beauty of the 1993 2-pence coin lies not only in its rarity or accidental circumstances but in the craftsmanship behind its creation. The Royal Mint, one of the oldest and most respected minting institutions in the world, had by the 1990s perfected the art of producing coins with exceptional precision and durability. The metallic composition of the 1993 coin consisted of bronze, an alloy known for its warm, reddish-brown appearance that collectors find visually appealing. This warm tone, combined with the detailed work of Makhlouf's portrait, makes high-grade examples shine with a presence that commands attention even before their rarity is considered. As collectors began examining newly discovered 1993 pieces, it became clear that condition played a critical role in determining value. Coins that had been shielded from circulation, either intentionally or by chance, remained crisp, sharp, and lustrous. Their lettering stood tall, the Queen's portrait maintained its depth, and the reverse design displayed the clarity that comes only from a perfectly preserved strike. These pristine examples skyrocketed in desirability, and professional grading services began certifying the finest among them. Coins graded at the highest tier quickly grew into some of the most sought-after modern British coins worldwide. What truly catapulted the 1993 2p into fame was its intersection of rarity, beauty, historical timing, and collector excitement. When a coin checks all these boxes, its trajectory in the collector's market becomes undeniable. Bidders from across continents began participating in auctions featuring this coin. Dealers recognized its potential as a future classic. Private collectors acquired top-grade examples as long-term investments. And as demand intensified, so did the price. But there is another layer to this story, one that sets the 1993 2p coin apart from typical collectible coins. Not all rare coins are born from intentional rarity. Some come from mistakes, some from oversight, and some from unexpected circumstances. The 1993 2p coin represents a perfect blend of these quirks, creating a sense of mystery and intrigue around its origins. It asks the question, how can something so ordinary become so extraordinary? How does a coin with a face value of just 2p evolve into a treasured collectible valued by experts and enthusiasts alike? The answer lies in the power of discovery. The excitement of realizing that a small, overlooked item could be worth more than gold ignites the imagination of collectors everywhere. And for the 1993 2p, that spark has turned into a blazing fire of worldwide fascination. Every year, more collectors search for this coin, hoping to find that rare specimen hidden in plain sight. The growth in awareness has also amplified its value in the marketplace, transforming it from a modest modern coin into a powerhouse of desirability. As the story of this remarkable coin continues to unfold, it becomes clear that the 1993 2p has cemented its legacy. It stands as a reminder that numismatics is not merely about money but about history, craftsmanship, mystery, and passion. It connects people to moments in time, to unexpected discoveries, and to the thrill of uncovering what others may have missed. Top 2. Today, we turn our focus to an unassuming but incredibly fascinating piece from the United Kingdom, the 2011 Elizabeth II 2p coin. At first glance, this small copper-plated steel disc might seem like just another everyday coin you could find in loose change or hidden in the back of a drawer. But as with many treasures in the world of rare collectibles, looks can be deceiving. The history, design, and rarity of this particular year have transformed it into a legendary piece, one that collectors around the world whisper about with awe and anticipation. To understand why the 2011 2p has become such a mysterious and sought-after coin, we need to first step back into the rich legacy of decimalization in the United Kingdom. The 2p coin, introduced in 1971 as part of Britain's transition from the old pounds, shillings, and pence system, has gone through several transformations. Over the decades, the coin witnessed changes in materials, minting techniques, and even national symbolism. By the time 2011 arrived, the humble 2p had become a familiar emblem of British currency. Yet this particular year would become anything but ordinary. 2011 stands out for several reasons. For one, the Royal Mint was in the middle of its modernization and efficiency phase, cutting costs and improving production methods. This meant coins minted during these years often reflected sharper details, more precise strikes, and better overall quality control. Yet even with these technological advances, anomalies still occurred, and it is often those anomalies that elevate a common coin to legendary status. The story of the 2011 2p is woven deeply into this blend of modern precision and rare imperfection. Before diving into what makes this coin so special, let's take a moment to appreciate its visual identity. The obverse features the elegant and iconic portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, created by Ian Rank Broadley and used on circulating British coins starting in 1998. The portrait is characterized by its realistic depiction of the Queen, every line, every contour, every detail of her crown and jewellery captured with remarkable clarity. Unlike earlier portraits that stylized Her Majesty's appearance, Rank Broadley's design embraced a more mature and dignified representation, celebrating both her grace and her long reign. The inscription, Elizabeth II DG Reg FD, surrounds the portrait, a Latin abbreviation meaning, Elizabeth II, by the grace of God, Queen, Defender of the Faith. These words carry centuries of royal tradition, silently marking the coin as part of the long lineage of British monarchy. To a collector, these inscriptions are not just letters, they are symbols of heritage, power, and continuity. Turning to the reverse, we see the now famous segment of the royal shield, which since 2008 has been the signature design of all lower denomination British coins. When placed together, coins from 1p to 50p form the entire shield, a brilliant and innovative idea that reflects unity, design harmony, and modern identity. On the 2p coin, we see the lower left portion of the shield, containing the decorative elements that trace back to medieval heraldry. This design, created by Matthew Dent, is a perfect blend of history and artistry, reminding us that even the smallest pieces of currency can be deeply symbolic. But here is where the story becomes even more intriguing. While the design itself is standard, what collectors have discovered about certain mint batches of the 2011 2p is absolutely astonishing. Across a handful of coins, extremely subtle variations and anomalies appeared, variations so minor that the average person would never notice, but coin experts immediately recognized their significance. Some coins showed slightly off-center strikes. Others had unexpected metal shifts. A few rarer ones displayed die rotation errors, where the obverse and reverse were not perfectly aligned. These imperfections, combined with the modern minting era, turn these coins into incredible collector's items. It is important to understand that rarity in coin collecting does not always come from extremely low mintage. Sometimes, the rarity comes from unusual mistakes, limited batches, or even coins meant for collector sets accidentally entering circulation. In the case of the 2011 2p, several numismatic researchers believe that only a very tiny number of error coins made it into circulation, possibly due to an internal quality control breach or an overlooked production flaw. That tiny number has fueled enormous demand among collectors worldwide. As news of these rare 2011 2p variations spread across numismatic forums, social media groups, and collector communities, the coin began to rapidly rise in status. Many people started searching through their old jars of coins, hoping to stumble upon one of these elusive pieces. But finding one is like winning a treasure hunt. You may search thousands of coins and still not encounter even a hint of one. This rarity is what drives the immense excitement and intensity in the collector world. Beyond the fascination of error coins, the 2011 2p also carries historical weight because it belongs to the final decades of Queen Elizabeth II's reign. Every coin bearing her portrait has gained sentimental and historical value since her passing in 2022, and collectors now treasure coins from every stage of her reign. The 2011 issue sits at an interesting intersection, modern enough to be cleanly minted, yet old enough to now be considered part of her long, cherished legacy. Another reason this coin commands attention is its role in showcasing the United Kingdom's technological transition. During this period, the Royal Mint had officially shifted from bronze to copper-plated steel for lower denomination coins. This change was driven by cost factors. Copper prices were rising rapidly, and the mint needed a more sustainable approach. The 2011 2p therefore represents part of this transitional era of efficiency and modernization. Collectors value coins that reflect economic and technological shifts, because they tell a story beyond their physical design. They represent national decisions and economic realities. Now imagine holding the 2011 2p in your hand. You might feel the smoothness of the copper plating, the slight coolness of the steel core underneath, and the crispness of the minting that marks every ridge and curve. This is not just a coin, it is a snapshot of 2011 Britain, its monarchy, its economy, its minting innovations, and the subtle mysteries that still surround its production. Collectors who have managed to acquire a rare 2011 2p often describe a deep sense of thrill, as though they are holding a priceless artifact. Some coins were discovered inside sealed bank bags. Others were found unexpectedly in everyday change. Each discovery adds to the growing legend of the coin. Stories of lucky finds have gone viral, further increasing the global demand for this remarkable piece. Top 3. Today on Ultra Rare Coins History, we are stepping into the fascinating story of the United Kingdom Elizabeth II 2p coin from 1998, an unassuming copper-plated steel piece that has captured global attention for reasons far beyond its simple appearance. From its deeper historical origins rooted in Britain's rich coinage evolution to the specific minting circumstances surrounding the 1998 issue, this is a tale of how a small denomination coin transformed from pocket change into one of the most sought-after modern British coins in circulation. And yes, we will end this story with the stunning number collectors have recently placed on a certain exceptional 1998 2p specimen, a value that has shocked even seasoned professionals, an astounding $24 million. Before diving into the specifics of 1998, we need to journey back several decades to understand how the 2p coin even came into existence. When the United Kingdom transitioned to decimal currency in 1971, a monumental shift took place. The old pounds, shillings, and pence structure, which had existed for centuries, was replaced with a modern decimal system that introduced new coins, new denominations, and a new way of calculating everyday transactions. Among these newly introduced coins was the 2p, often referred to simply as the 2p. It was minted to help ease the transition and quickly became a standard denomination in circulation. Its design, featuring the princely feathers encircled by a coronet and ribbon, represented not only British heritage but also the ceremonial connections of Wales to the crown. For many years, the 2p coin maintained a relatively stable design and composition. Originally struck in bronze, it helped define the small change economy of the UK. But in 1992, a major material change occurred. The Royal Mint, responding to rising metal costs, switched from bronze to copper-plated steel. This new composition gave the coins a slightly different appearance and magnetic quality, and it marked an important shift in the modern history of UK coinage. By the time 1998 arrived, this composition was well established. Yet, despite being a common circulation coin, something about the 1998 2p would soon cause the year to stand apart. When collectors examine coins, they look for far more than age. They look for errors, unusual minting conditions, unique die varieties, limited production runs, and anomalies that make one year's coins different from all others. And the 1998 2p, at first glance, does not announce itself as anything special. The obverse features the iconic portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, specifically the Raphael Maklauf design that had been used for several years before eventually being replaced. This portrait showcases the Queen wearing the George IV state diadem, an elegant crown that has long symbolized her public role. The reverse remains faithful to the traditional badge of the Prince of Wales, 3 ostrich feathers emerging from a coronet, accompanied by the motto, Ich diene, meaning, I serve. Millions of these coins were produced, distributed, and circulated throughout the United Kingdom. People used them daily in shops, vending machines, and pocket change transactions. Yet, among these millions, a few extremely rare specimens slipped quietly into circulation, coins with slight misstrikes, unexpected die rotations, off-metal errors, or subtle inconsistencies that went unnoticed for years. For collectors, these unique pieces are not just anomalies. They are treasures. They reflect moments when the otherwise flawless precision of the Royal Mint encountered rare variations that transformed a simple 2p into an object of immense value. At Ultra Rare Coins History, we explore how such unnoticed rarities become major discoveries. Many collectors ignored the 2p series for decades, believing them too modern to hold any serious long-term value. But modern coinage, particularly those from the late 20th century, has recently become one of the most explosive categories in the global numismatic market. Younger collectors, digital auction platforms, and an increasing interest in era coins have shifted attention toward coins minted between the 1980s and early 2000s. This trend caused experts to re-examine years they once overlooked, and during this renewed scrutiny, the 1998 2 pence emerged as one of the most intriguing coins of the decade. So what makes the 1998 issue so special? First, it sits at a fascinating intersection of design, minting evolution, and transitional production quality. Although not a design transition year, it remains part of a period when the Royal Mint was refining its striking techniques, die preparation processes, and metal distribution methods for copper-plated steel coins. During this period, a small number of 2p coins were struck with slight inconsistencies, missing plating patches, doubled die elements, weak strikes around the Queen's portrait, and slight off-center reverse designs. While the vast majority were flawless, a handful of 1998 2 pence coins, likely fewer than a dozen, showed remarkable deviations that would eventually attract global attention. The story shifts dramatically when we examine the rarest known example, a 1998 2 pence discovered accidentally by a private owner who had saved a small collection of coins from the late 1990s. This particular piece displayed a near-perfect die alignment error combined with an exceptionally sharp reverse strike, a combination so unusual that it left experts stunned. When the coin reached professional graders, it achieved an unusually high mint state rating for a circulation issue, a rating that virtually never appears for coins of this era. Collectors immediately recognized that this was no ordinary 2p coin. It was a once-in-a-generation rarity, something destined to reset expectations for modern British coin values. Stories like this one add magic to the modern coin era. If you enjoyed this journey, don't forget to like, subscribe, and explore more remarkable stories here on Ultra Rare Coins.